Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track by an act named Lazarus Benson, featuring Kung Fu Vampire titled Merry-Go-Round. And if we switch over to here, we have it on YouTube. I was going to say Spotify, but this is obviously not Spotify. I believe I've done some work for Lazarus Benson before with a track of theirs called Monster or something like that. I'd have to double check. But we're going to be listening through this track anyways from start to finish. Merry-Go-Round is a song based on people who play too many games. They be people like a circus or carnival. Features the iconic lyricist Kung Fu Vampire. So again, from start to finish, we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Oh, Boku no Hero Academia. That's pretty cool. Oh, I'm liking the guitar with the bass there. It's a nice way to enter. Oh, and there's Black Clover as well. I'm liking the brightness of the mix, eh? I'm enjoying that lead guitar line over top as well. I think it's a nice way to elevate from the guitar and bass we had previously. Nice sort of tension with that chord harmony there. You think you won the prize, but you didn't win the thing. Damn, man. Laying down that truth. I like that sequenced synth that I can hear. How that's hanging around in the background. I like that as a sub layer. It's kind of cool. The vocals sound really fresh as well. They've got an interesting effects chain on them. Well done making them stand out. You know, I think the vocal melody for this section here and this hook works really well with that lead guitar line that's coming back in here. I like how we're getting a sense of unison between the various elements of the mix. It makes musical sense here. Oh, damn. You lose when you adore it, ignore it, and it comes back. I don't give a fuck if you a Leo or Taurus. You keep exploring, keep your heart black. Caffeinated black on the mantle, couldn't handle the pressure. The gentleman like gestures, knowing that I might. This rapper is really slick, eh? Is this Kung Fu Vampire or something like that on the mic at the moment? They're spitting some fire, dude. Like, just the flow of it and how seamless it is and the clarity with the delivery is good too. Dexter, knowing that I'm like Dexter when I enter the crime scene, I'm there before it happens. I'm talking choking and stabbing and poking a maverick. I'm soaking your blood and the plastic is laying on the mattress. Shit, okay, we got a bit heavy there, didn't we? I thought that you like bondage. I'm well above average with the games you play, turning me into a savage. Damn, she's basically dead inside. There's so much anger, so much damage, and it's done. And there's nowhere to hide. I don't understand why you keep playing around, spinning my head like a merry-go-round. I don't understand why you keep playing around, spinning my head like a merry-go-round. Spin ahead like a merry-go-round. So I'm not up to that point in Black Clover yet, so it's cool that I looked forward to the next part, I suppose, of where I'm at. That's kind of dope. Love the animation styles for both of the animes I've seen so far. It was a nice chorus that we went back to, and to know to kind of take the drums and the vocals away, to just let the guitars and bass come back to what we had initially, I think is a smart move here. Just lowers that energy level down a bit, sort of have a bit of change in the dynamics of it, and allows us to appreciate the more instrumental elements of it alongside the story, you know? There's a huge sort of sense of sound and presence to those guitars. Like, there's a nice low end to it. I'm not sure how they recorded those guitars, but I like the way that they sound. Great presence and resonance to them.
like a merry-go-round, repeating that hook line. You're not the circus. Nice repetition of that. I suppose that could be Grim on that side. Cool, cool, cool. I like that. You are the clown who's laughing now. Sick. Because this is my conclusion for Merry-Go-Round by Lazarus Benson featuring Kung Fu Vampire. The story, I think, is about someone taking the piss and being called out for it. I think that the song communicates this really well. The story is nice and clear and easy to follow, and I think it may be something personal to what everyone involved was sort of singing about. So, you know, that's the next kind of... it's one thing to talk about something like this, because a lot of people can relate to being betrayed or... not necessarily being betrayed, but like taken advantage of by people, you know, being played by people. But at the same time, it's another thing if you're in that position. And from the authenticity of the vocal performances here, it sounds like both these musicians might have had that happen to them, which is part of why they did this collaboration. That frustration was communicated well on both the clean sections, the clean vocal sections, as well as the hook parts, as well as the bits with the rapping as well. You know, like we got a bit brutal there with like the blood and we got fairly graphic there with some of the parts in that rapping verse, especially in the second half. But that was fine. I followed along with it. It was cool. It was nice to have a more intense shift in the tonality thematically than what we had initially when we were just talking about the more roundabout situation with the person taking advantage of the situation and just kind of being a bit of a pain, as an understatement. So yeah, I think the rapping was fantastic. The flow was sick there, and the vocals, again, memorable, catchy vocal melodies there that harmonized well with the other instruments in the mix. Both musicians were within their vocal ranges, so great, showed solid technique, and there wasn't really a note out of place at any point. Great choices to work together on this. The structure of this track, you know, you got that verse chorus vibe with like an interlude in there as well, and you know, a refrain back to the original themes there, maybe with an extra bit of lead guitar on top. But I like that we respected the musical themes we had instantiated at the beginning and just chose to develop them. At just under 3.5 minutes, it was a great length for what it was. It told the story it needed to, was giving room for both musicians to do their stuff. I've got no complaints from like a musical instrumental perspective. The production was good. I like the production of it. I think the EQ and the stereo panning instruments was great. The recording quality, the actual vocals as well as the other instruments was good as well. You know, the mix, everything was leveled out and panned correctly. The effects chains on the clean vocals were great, but the rapping was more sort of clear cut, and I appreciate that, because if you add too much reverb to our rapping section or something, it could be a little bit weird. You need that more kind of percussive element to it. You know, the drums were supportive as well. I forgot to mention the drums, really. The drums were supportive as well, but they had this kind of new metal kind of breakbeats. Not necessarily breakbeats, but that kind of accompaniment. They were there, they had a presence, but they weren't trying to be the center of attention. It was more about telling that story and having everything else work together with that most important sort of sense of chemistry there. You know, it was nice and loud without pumping. Limiting compression was good. Yeah, I don't really know how they could have necessarily improved this. They could have maybe had like an additional sort of like alternative lead section there or like tails to it, but aside from that, I think it was great just as it was. Thank you for the opportunity thank you for watching this review. I'm glad to have the opportunity to review more Lazarus Benson's work. Welcome to Kung Fu Vampire as well. But yeah, effectively that is my review of Merry-Go-Round by Lazarus Benson featuring Kung Fu Vampire. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show these musicians some love via their various social medias and their YouTube page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.